something like this up. I am just in absolute shock right now. This is Brandon, the one I was just talking about. That's his wife, Brianna, and that's me. This was back in 2017. Obviously, that's Bryan.
On the news, looks like a cold-blooded killer. The guy that I went to college with? That dude was nice. He was a nice guy.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover murder, mystery, to the paranormal. So we finally have a face and a name to the killer who took Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana's lives on November 13th. But who is he and what is the connection? So this is Bryan Kohberger, who is 28 years old, who lives in Pullman, Washington, which is just approximately 10 miles from where the victims lived. He went to Washington State and DeSales University, where he would earn his PhD in the Master of Arts in Criminal Justice. Before that, he had suffered from addiction in high school, according to someone that knew Bryan years ago. Here's a quick clip.
Back in 2017, he was clean. He was a heavy heroin user back in high school, and it was just nice to see the kid clean up. And at that time, he said he was doing security detail. I believe it was at a school is what he told me.
Other than a small vehicle violation earlier this year, Bryan Kohberger has never been arrested. Bryan would also do a study where he was looking for people who had committed a crime in the past and to explain how they felt when committing their crime and to study their emotions. Looking back, this makes you wonder if this could have been one of the many catalysts to thinking about committing a crime. So what is the connection to Bryan and the 4 Idaho students? Although there hasn't been a direct motive established, the father of Kaylee says there is a connection, but he couldn't speak about it at this time.
The father of one of the murder victims, Steve Gonsalves, and his attorney say they see connections between Kaylee and the suspect, but they aren't ready to talk about exactly what those connections are. The arrest comes the same day as his family is holding a celebration of life for Kaylee.
Apparently, it wasn't uncommon for people who go to Washington State University to travel to Moscow during the weekends and/or holidays. He was apparently following 3 out of the 4 students on his 2 different Instagram accounts. One of his Instagram accounts had this clip with it. So what led law enforcement to Bryan Kohberger? In an article that was released late yesterday, they said they caught Bryan Kohberger through genealogy DNA.
But my sources are telling me that there is genealogical DNA that was established in this case that led the police to this particular suspect. So although that was, according to my sources, who were very credible and reliable,
so that means he must have left some kind of fingerprint and or blood behind at the crime scene. But since he had no prior offenses, he was not in the CODIS DNA database. According to this article, they tracked him down via the genealogy DNA and also via the Hyundai Elantra, and they were staking out Bryan's home days before the arrest. Bryan, who has an apartment in Pullman, Washington, fled to Pocono, Pennsylvania, which is 2,500 miles away, where his family had property. They would arrest Bryan early in the morning on December 30th and would also tow the White Hyundai Elantra. So what will happen with Bryan Kohberger? So during the press conference, they said he is facing 4 charges of first-degree murder and 1 other felony charge. He will also have an extradition hearing on January 3rd. They said that the probable cause affidavit would be sealed until he is extradited back to Moscow and then they would unseal it. The probable cause affidavit will have some details like the who, what, and where, but I think a lot of people are wondering why he did this. As soon as I know more information, I will update you all. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year.